Okay, what's up, y'all? It is Asher, the Asher J, Ash the Kardash, AJ. Just don't call me Ashley. Period. Okay. So today, a highly requested video that was asked for me to do was, what are the pros and cons of being a dental assistant? A little back story or background on me. I have been a dental assistant for going on 5 years or 4 years. I'm losing count, guys. But it has been a journey. So I feel like I'm adequate enough to give y'all the tea. You know what I mean? So I have my laptop here. So if you see me looking over, that is where my notes are. And that is what I'll be reading off of because I took a couple of notes. This is for my people that are in the dental assistant field that, want to know more about it or understand other people's experience. If you're on your borderline of like, should I stay in this field? Should I not? What am I missing? Or if you aren't in the dental field and you are interested in getting in. So I live in Atlanta, Georgia. So things or, how the state works may be different in your city or state. So, I think I'm going to start off with the pros. Let's just go ahead and get those out of the way. So my first pro is work hours. Coming from a regular, like, 9 to 5 job to dental assisting was great to me. Most offices work from Monday through Thursday, normally from 7:45 to 4 or 3. Some even get off at 2. I've worked at an office that did that, which was amazing. I love that. Another pro would be discounted or free dental work. Depending on where you work, it's either, because I know, for example, one office that I worked at, the cleanings, you could get a cleaning for like $65 or $75, and they would just take that out of your check versus like getting the money the same day. Or depending on where you work, they'll even do your cleanings for free. I've had an office that did my cleanings for free as well. You are not doing the same thing every day. I know for people who aren't aware of the dental field, they're like, girl, you are doing the same thing every day. No, people's mouths are different. So being the person that I am, I don't like I can be repetitive or do repetitive things, but the way my mind works, like, no, I have to be doing something different every day. And that is what I love about the dental field, that it's different. You're encountering a different story every day. Like, to me, I look at it as your mouth is telling me your story or a story about you, and everybody's different, so you're not going to get the same thing every day. Another pro is wearing scrubs. I know you're like, what? Yes, I love scrubs. You can, it's, what I'm saying, if you take pride in how you look and the way you dress, it can even just be in some scrubs. Dress them up, make them real cute, get you some socks, a cute little scrub cap, and you're ready to go, period. Another pro is, I know this may sound funny, but 1 hour lunches. I remember when I worked at Chick-fil-A and we didn't even get hour lunches. So when I came into the dental field, I was like, we get an hour lunch? What? You know what I'm saying? And an hour, the longer you work, is really not like a lot of time, but it's better than 15 to 30 minutes. Be grateful. Okay. Another pro for me, because I am invested and I love dentistry the way that I do, is being able to share important dental hygiene with your family and friends outside of work. You know what I mean? Like, when I was in dental school, every time I learned something new, I was ready to go home and tell my family. Like when we were on the module when it came to properly brushing and demonstrating that to a patient, naturally, I've always brushed my teeth in circles, and that is the way that you are supposed to brush your teeth. So when I went home, I did like a little survey. I made everybody stand in front of the mirror and brush their teeth, and everybody in my family used to brush their teeth sideways and not in circles. So that was fun for me because I was able to educate my family on just better hygiene techniques that will help them and even teach their kids in the future. So, period. Another pro is you have the ability to move up or grow in the field. You know, you could start out as an assistant, even move up to a lead assistant, and sometimes even the office manager, depending on the office that you work in, because every office is not the same. Some prefer to hire outside of the office. We're going to get all into that. That is, in a con, but depending on where you work, you have the ability to move up in the office and grow as a person. Another pro that I have is different job occupations and as a dental assistant other than dental assisting. So coming in, you could be a front desk dental assistant, only not even touch patients' mouths. You can just deal with the communication, answering phone calls, doing insurance. You can even be a lab technician, whereas you're not even dealing with patients at all. You're just making molds like dentures, crowns. It's amazing. I like that a lot, how you're just not stuck to one thing, how you can, if you don't want to touch teeth but you love dentistry, you can sit in the front and take calls all day from 9 to 3, and who gonna check you about it? Nobody. Another pro that I love is health insurance. Also, again, it depends on where you are working, because normally what I'm noticing is that a lot of private practices may or may not offer health insurance, and normally that comes out of your check every month or every 2 weeks that they pay you, which is normally every 2 weeks. That's a great option. I love being able to not only take care of other people, but take care of myself. So, yes. Another pro for me is you get paid more as you progress in the years. Because starting out, I wasn't making as much money as a new dental assistant, especially if you tell the office that, like, hey, I'm a beginner and, I'm looking for a job, and that's that. They're normally going to take advantage of you being fresh into the dental field. So if you can, I'm not saying lie or anything like that, but depending on where you work, they'll start you out at a decent amount, or they'll lowball you and start you out at $12, $13 an hour, and you're like, what did I go to all this schooling for just to get out and make what I was making when I wasn't a dental assistant? Crazy, right? And it kind of what was done to me. When I first started out, I started as a front desk assistant. It really wasn't what I wanted to do, but I know I really wanted a job. And which is crazy. This is the story. So day of graduation, I went to a job interview for a front desk assistant, got the job the same day, worked, and then got off of work and went to my graduation. Just my luck, huh? But I looked at it as, okay, this isn't what I want to do, but at the same time, if I work as a front office assistant and do this to the best of my ability and learn the things that I needed to learn, I could be more valuable to the next office that I go to. And I know for a fact I'm going to be making more money. And that is exactly what I did. I got everything out of it. I learned how to answer phone calls. I learned how to verify insurance. I learned how to send claims. It made me better with dental assistant coding. It made me way better. So, blessing in disguise. You have to pick your battles. Another pro is I don't know about you or anybody else that is watching this video, but I live in Atlanta, Georgia. And not only can you can go to school for dental assisting. I highly recommend it because you're going to be professionally trained in the field and you'll know things versus where in Atlanta, Georgia, like you can go to a dental office if you don't know if you want to spend all this money yet, right? On a dental assistant certification. You can go into an office and say, hey, I don't have any dental assistant background. I don't have a certification, but I would love to learn this field in intent to get the certification. So you can go in to an office and they can train you the way that they work, and you can just work for them as a dental assistant with no certification. So that is a pro to me because, you know, you can, at that point, you can work for them as long as you feel like. And if dental assisting isn't for you, you know, you just got out of spending 20, 30,000, however many dollars on a certification, and you didn't even want to do it anyway. So that is a pro to me, which is not a route that I took. I knew I wanted to be a dental assistant, so I went on ahead and got the schooling. So it all worked out. Another pro to me is you can work in different specialties. So normally you have your general dentist, and then you have your endodontist, orthodontist, periodontist. Normally in my state, like if you work for a specialist, you are automatically paid more because it is a specialty. So that's a lot to think about when you are choosing the type of offices that you want to work in after you're done with schooling. Another pro to me is helping patients be more confident. I'm all about, I got into this field because not only did I want to help myself and grow my financial income, but I wanted to help others. I love seeing how after the treatment is over and even after a cleaning, and someone just feels a totally different way about themselves. Like that brings joy within myself. So if you're that type of person, this is the field for you. Another pro for me is that jobs, certain offices will pay for schooling to further your education. For example, like I worked for a couple offices that paid for my renewal of my CPR certification, because your CPR, you're going to get that in school as well. I don't know if all schools offer it, but my school did, and we were able to get our CPR certification while in school. So CPR certifications last, I think, normally about 2 years. Don't quote me, but yes, the office that I was working at the time paid for my CPR certification, so I didn't even have to come out of pocket when it was expiring. So it's all, I keep saying depending on where you work at, because that is literally what it is. It depends on where you work, because all dental offices are not the same and all of them don't offer the same things. So I think I touched on all of my pros. Those are the pros. And now I'm going to go into the cons. So keep in mind all of those things that I just said. But the dental field also does have a lot, not even a lot. I had more pros than I had cons, but the way I explain it, it's going to seem like it's more cons than pros. But overall, I love dentistry, just not the people in it. It's not the field, it's the people in the field. Keep that in mind. So the first con is the cost of dental assistant training. Depending on where you go to school or your state, all prices and costs may vary. I know my program was around, I'm gonna say, I think in the 20s, like 15,000, I don't know, but it is expensive. And if you don't have financial aid or anything like that, you're going to be paying out of pocket. I even realized that in my state, Atlanta, Georgia, that some schools are private and they don't even accept financial aid. So you want to make sure you're looking into that before you just set yourself on a school. You're going to want to make sure that they pay, that you can get financial aid through that school, so you don't come out of your pocket like a lot of money for schooling. That's a con to me. Another con is you never truly get 40 hours. And I'm going to say that again, depending on where you work, because you have the offices where you come in and they say you're going to get 40 hours a week. And sometimes you finish early or you finish late. But normally you're going to get around, I'm going to say like 34, 35 hours, which is not bad, depending on how much you're getting paid and everything like that. But I feel as if you never truly get 40 hours a week. But the hours are good, so pick your poison. Another con is office drama. This dental assisting is a predominantly women's field that I'm aware of. You mostly see women in dental assistants. So you're gonna have these offices that keep up a lot of drama, that is always something going on, you know what I'm saying? And if you aren't that type of person and you can't work in that type of environment, I don't suggest, that is not the space for you. Another con for me is that the pay started out low. That goes back into what I was saying earlier about, I felt like, I just did all this schooling just to make $13 an hour when I first got my first job. But I was also, I seen the brighter side of things, that like, okay, I really need a job right now and I want it to be in the field that I'm in. So I just accepted the job. But you don't have to accept offers that will not work for your schedule. If you know you got a kid at home and all of this type of stuff and they're not paying you as much as you feel, you can always move on and try to find you a job that you feel that suits you. Another con for me is what I've experienced in my own dental experience. It's like when you're new to an office, it's like, I don't know if it's a thing that they're all like on. Like one office that I worked at, it felt like a shark attack. Like I'm new, people were being mean and things of that nature. It's like, it's crazy. Every office that I worked at was not like that, but a couple of offices that I worked at, like coming in, you have this big smile on your face, you're ready to work, and you're like, hey, and I've even had an office manager ignore me when I was talking, like when I came up and introduced myself, so that goes into office drama. If you already sense it that is not for you, don't even dig into it. Another con is clicking up. Like, you know how you have those seniors at the job that's been working there forever, and you come in as the new person and they feel like their job is under attack because you're new and you're here and you're ready for this experience. They kind of, give you the stank face and try to do things and be mean to you to get you out of your character. I've experienced that a couple of times at a couple of offices, and it was unacceptable to me. But you just gotta not deal with it, because you don't have to deal with anything you don't want to deal with. But it's like, woosah. Another con for me that I see that a lot of videos that I've seen on YouTube that they don't address is being exposed to blood-borne pathogens and disease and bacteria and nasty things, okay? You're gonna encounter some patients and some things in dentistry to where you're like, oh my God, what? You know what I mean? But if you can't stomach those type of things like blood, stinky breath, like when a tooth is being drilled into and the smell that the drill gives off, dental assistants, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you can't stomach that, this is not the field for you. Another con for me is if things go bad, normally it all falls on you. Not even, depending on what it is, not even the doctor, because we are responsible for so much. This con kind of ties into the next con, is how we are made responsible for so much, but get paid the least. So, you know, you just have to be on your toes and always thinking in this field, depending on what office you work at, because you know, you have some offices that are slow paced, and then you have those ones that are seeing patients every hour, and you have to keep up with your notes. You have to make sure that your cases are being sent out. You have to make sure everything is in order, and if it's not, it's all your fault. Simple as that. Another con for me is dealing with very rude dentists. Okay, I've even had an office manager necessarily make an excuse for the way that a dentist was treating me and treating the staff. Like, I've even had a dentist lie on me and say that I had an attitude with him. Like, I even have it on recording, but we're not even gonna go there. Yes, like told my office manager one story, and then when I went to him alone to talk about the situation, he kind of flipped it. It's crazy, y'all. So it's called covering your own CYA, okay? And I know y'all like, you recording? Yeah, sometimes it gets to that point where, you know, people try to, we're gonna get into that. The next con is rude hygienist. Okay, you have your rude dentist and then you have your rude hygienist. That's a con to me, because it's like you have some hygienists and doctors that feel like, okay, I've done all this schooling, I'm better than you, so they feel like they can talk to you and treat you any kind of way. Fairly, I've dealt with a lot of great hygienists, and then I've had a handful of hygienists that were just completely rude, and you know what I'm saying? I've even had some that just felt like it wasn't their responsibility to clean their own rooms and stuff like that. Like, I was working at an office where I ran hygiene and the doctor side by myself for almost a year. And it came down to whereas she would even come in on the doctor's side and say, hey, could you help me take an x-ray while I'm trying to help see the crown? Make it make sense. But it's just the people, you know what I'm saying? Another con is rude office managers. Now, I've encountered a lot of rude office managers, and those people have been in the field for 1,000 years and feel like they know everything, and it's either it goes their way or no way. So I've even had an incident where an office manager told me that my hair was unprofessional for the dental setting. Girls, y'all know how you just get a fresh set of braids, you know, and I don't really wear braids like that, but I had just gotten me some braids and I don't wear them like that, but I just wanted a protective hairstyle. Came to work on a great Monday morning, feeling good, smelling good, looking good. And my office manager like pulled me aside and was like, your hair is unprofessional. And you know me, I'm like, wait, what? You know, like how? I think it looks kind of nice. It was all black, no color in it. It was just regular knotless braids. I was like, no, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you elaborate on that? she basically said that braids, like braids themselves, were unprofessional, like an unprofessional hairstyle for her dental office, and that I needed to take them down immediately. And I was like, I just paid $200-300 for these. I'm not going to take them out. So, like, what are we going to do? And I'm not going to say her ethnicity was on the Latin Hispanic side. So, I took it as she just didn't really understand. And I left it as that. But at that point, that's when I should have left. And like a few months after that, I left that office because things got crazy. Another con for me is that you have some offices that will try to keep you stagnant in the position that you are in. Like, for example, there was one office that I worked in, whereas I had just started school. I had been working there for like a year, and I decided to start going back to school for something that I wanted to pursue. And I was a front desk assistant, so we would work on Fridays, but we wouldn't see patients. So it would just be an admin day. And I had to go to school on Fridays. So I think I had to go to school around, we're gonna say 1 o'clock. And normally we would do admin day on Fridays from 7:45 till 1, I think, till like 1 o'clock. So I let my office manager know, like, hey, I'm just starting, I'm about to start back going to school. And I know on Fridays we don't see patients. So, and at that time I did not have a car. So I was going to be catching the bus from work to school. And work was, on the bus is different. On a regular car, it would have took me 20-30 minutes to get to school, but on the bus it was like an hour ride because I had to wait for the bus. In the area that I was in, the bus didn't come every 15-20 minutes, it came every hour. So if you are aware of Georgia, Stonecrest, in that area, buses run every hour, and you have to stand there. If you miss that first bus, you're gonna wait a whole hour till the next one comes. And I was going to a school that was not close bus wise to get there on time. So I kindly asked, hey, being that I go to school on Fridays, could I at least, they wouldn't let me off on those days, even though it was an admin day. So I tried to, have a midpoint, like, if I can't not come to work on those days, at least can I please leave at 11 so I could get to school on time. And at that time, I know most people are probably going to say, why you just didn't Uber? Y'all, no, I was not going to keep Ubering, spending my money every day to get to school. It was going to be some days I needed to ride the bus, some days I needed to Uber. It depended on what my money was looking like, So no, I wasn't going to do that. And they basically told me that no, you can't get off at 11. You can get off at 12. And that's that. So I would be scrambling, struggling to, and then the bus stop was not close to it was close to the office, but I had to walk like up a hill to get to the bus stop. And you know what I mean? So another con that goes into this, like, it depends on where you work. Like, if that office wants to see you do better in life and that's what I mean by stagnant in the position that you're in. They didn't want to accommodate my schedule, and it wasn't like it interfered with a patient day. So I don't see what the problem was, but that goes into jealousy, and that's a whole nother story. Another con for me is exposure to x-rays. I know most people are like, are you serious? Yes, I am. Exposure to x-rays. It's not that, of course it's not that bad of a con, but at the same time, you have to think, in some cases, you have to stand in the room while you're taking the x-ray, especially if it's digital, or you have to hold the monitor to take the picture because the patient can't hold their mouth open. There are going to be various amount, that adds up. You know what I'm saying? And it hasn't affected me solely in life, but that's a con. Another con for me is dealing with very rude patients. That's in any job, but sometimes, it's different talking to them on the phone versus they're in a dental chair and you're trying to tell them about their dental work and they don't care, they don't want to hear it, da 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 da. But it's whatever, you can't let that stop you from, being who you want to be and still give great patient care to patients. But that's just a con for me. Another con is that the dental community is very small. So if you work at an office, and it didn't work out well for whatever reason, you go to another office, everybody knows everybody in the dental field. So whether things didn't work out, at least, leave on a good note and, be very professional, because you never know who knows who. So, if, my thing is, don't let people get you out of your character. And I've had a couple of incidents, not even incidents, but times where I didn't like blow up or anything like that, but it's like you are getting on my nerves, and you just have to not give people that satisfaction to get you out of your character. We kind of just talked about jealousy, but I didn't, pin on it. So another con for me is being that you do work in the field with a lot of women. You have those moments of where people or women are jealous and will try to do things to not only mess up your opportunity, mess up your job, but stop you from being great. I've had so many occasions where women are like jealous for their own personal reasons, and we're trying to push their insecurities off on me. And that's really not fair. It's not fair at all. I've even had where I worked at an office, like, they were deleting my notes in a person's chart. Like, people can do some bad, things, like even try to get you out of a job. I've even had, like, where I worked at an office, and the assistants, because it was 3 of us, and two of the other girls, like, really didn't care for my personality, who I was, didn't give me the benefit of the doubt to try to understand me as a person, and they would do things to try to trigger me to make me upset. People are really mean out here, but you cannot forget the end goal. But yes, like I was saying, you cannot forget the end goal. You can't forget why you started. You can't forget why you're doing this, whether it be for your kids, or you're trying to get you a car, you're trying to gain financial stability. Don't forget why you're doing this. The only thing that matters is that you come in, do a great job. You are learning, you are still being teachable, and that is all that matters. Don't let anybody get in your way and stop your shine at all. So that ends this video. My name is Asher, the Asher J, Ash the Kardash, AJ, but don't call me Ashley, period. Okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys love this type of talk, this type of content, this type of videos, just comment down below. And you can even let me know some of your dental experiences if you are a dental assistant, and let's come together as a team and make this field more accessible to people and more welcoming. But that's all I got. See y'all later.